Town TV, what a jolly good show.
Well, good morning, Howard.
Good morning.
And good morning, Steve. Good morning. Here we are at 77 Millway Road. And behind us is YTV, courtesy of Town TV. And we're filming them, filming us, filming the Pen fans at rocking 77 Millway Road. So what we're going to do, Claire is going to talk to all the guys. There's Claire over there with a coffee mug and a cigarette. It's Delirious. That's the YTV crew. And we're going to show you the day's action, so maybe we'll go out live later. See you later.
Today outside their home. It's a very exciting day. They've got Wire TV coming to interview them and listen to them playing and all that sort of thing. You've probably heard of Delirious before. They're Andover's most famous band playing American rock. Is that right, guys?
Yeah. We're play American rock.
Yeah, we play us.
Yeah.
We play us style.
And they're not very camera shy, as you can see. How do you feel about Wire TV coming to see you today then?
Well, I think it's a very important and specific day in our history. And I only wish Lord Nelson was here to see.
Lord Nelson. Now, what would you say is better, Wire TV or Town TV?
Town TV.
Well done. He's
But
got
Wire
it
TV
there.
have got yellow vans. Yeah, yellow.
All that sort of thing. Hi, Mum.
Hi, Dad. Hi,
And
Mum.
Random Matt. Hello, Mum. That's my mum, and I'd just like to thank my mum for all her encouragement and hard work through the years. And cups of tea. Yeah.
And good
thanks to
dinners.
my dad as well. I love
Sausage
my
and
dad.
masher. Bring them up nice, and such nice young lads, aren't they? I can thoroughly vouch for that. And all their hair, I think they should have had a haircut long time ago.
mine. Yeah, I washed mine today. I was going to wash it again because it didn't go right.
Bless him.
But we all thought we were going to put a nice little red burgundy rinse in like that. But we thought it would clash.
Clash with me, you
No,
see.
with the yellow vans.
Oh, right, I see. You are
John.
John, and he's the lead guitarist. This is
Simon.
Simon.
Plays the bass.
Plays
Go
the
Tara.
bass.
Simon Bass.
This is Wayne. Now, he's the lead vocalist, and he also
Wayne
plays
Potts.
the guitar. I can remember that. I don't know why I remember that. And you're
I'm David. Here.
David.
Stay. Yeah.
And he's
I
a drummer.
play the drums.
And unfortunately, the keyboardist
And it's starting
not
to
here today,
rain.
Is that right?
Yeah,
It's
right.
raining.
He might be
Well,
here
that's
for
the
an hour.
powers of being on live TV, you see. This is Tina, the mother of the household.
Hello.
Hello, Tina. How do you feel today?
Bit nervous with everybody here.
Yeah? Your house is a bit chaotic, isn't it?
It is. I don't know how many people are here. About, what, 12 people?
I think it's more than that. I think
Is
it's
it?
about 15 or 20
15?
people, actually. Your worst nightmare, isn't it?
Yeah.
Your carpet's going to get ruined. Now, you've brought the children, well, brought them up from being very little, yeah? How young were they when they started?
David was 12 and John was 14. David had his first drum kit when he was 12, and it eventually took over the front room, as you will see. And they've been playing in bands ever since. They were first in the Pulse, and then they had various change-ups and changes in the lineup.
Yeah.
And then they've been as Delirious in this lineup now for nearly 3 years.
These vans are very yellow.
Very yellow. In fact, Steve, it's surprising how yellow these vans actually are.
We get the signal out by satellite, so we need a clear line of sight. The satellite's 23,000 miles and it's sort of that way, just over the top of that house.
Right.
So we're looking for somewhere to put the truck, a clear view of the bird, and we can be on the air.
How do you know when you're lined up?
Well, we see signals coming back off the
Oh, right.
satellite. We just find it, peak them, get the maximum, we know we're straight on it.
Well, here we've got a car which is a Volkswagen Golf, I do believe, or a Polo or something like that. And inside there's all lots of mysterious and wonderful plants. I don't know what they're all about. I think we're going to have to go inside and speak to the man who owns this car. His name's Terry, and he's going to let us know what they're all in here for. I'm just wondering why you brought plants along to a delirious heavy metal sort of...
Oh, I see. Well, I mean, I have to do the gardening items. That's all
Right.
my idea. So I've got to do something about what you do this time of the year.
Right.
So obviously I brought something along for that.
So you're going to be speaking to Tina about all her household plant
Well, that's
problems?
it. She's got various garden problems, so I'm going to have a go at that.
Well, that's very handy, because I've just got my first garden, and I've got a Virginia creeper growing at the wall.
Oh, it's
How can
got a
I-
lovely colour at the moment, isn't
It
it?
is nice to make, but it's not very big. How do I get it to grow a bit faster?
Well, feed it underneath if you can. That,
Feed it underneath.
So, I mean, one of the good types of things is probably to go and get a foliar feed, but obviously you
Right.
wouldn't feed it now because it's
You
really
don't
going to
feed
go
it now.
dormant now.
Right.
But in the spring, and if on a lovely summer's evening, or a nice, good sort of cool evening, spray all the leaves with the feed,
Right.
and that will give it a lot of growth. But you'll find within a couple of years you'll be saying, how
can I cut it down?
How can I slow it down?
All right.
Michael Mayman, proprietor of the Red Lion Hotel in Salisbury. Michael, can you tell me something about this lovely building?
Yeah, the building behind us goes back to about 1220. It was supposed to have been built to house the draftsmen working on the cathedral when it moved down from Old Sarum. We like to think that when they had a decent hotel, they moved the cathedral to be near us. It became a coaching inn, 1600s, and it's always been a hotel. So we think it's possibly the longest running purpose-built hotel in the country.
Really? How long has it been in the family?
80 years. My grandparents came here in 1913. When my grandfather went off to fight in the First World War, the licence was transferred to my grandmother. When he came back, they never transferred it back, so she was actually licensee until she died. And so she was actually licensee for 60 years, during which time she never touched a drop of alcohol or smoked a cigarette.
How about you?
I don't smoke, but I'm making up on the alcohol front.
You've got some lovely pieces inside, especially that clock, which is quite... Can you tell us about that?
Yes, the clock was acquired by my grandfather in the 30s. The clock itself was made, is an English 8-day long case clock made in Plymouth. The carvings are supposed to have been done by prisoners of war from the Spanish Armada down in Dartmoor or Plymouth Jail. And there is an organ which we think's mid-European, and it probably all came together as a clock in about 1830. And as I say, my grandfather acquired it from a chap called Washington Singer. The lounge is part of the oldest part of the building, and what is fairly unusual about us is that the oldest part of the hotel is still complete. The main building is still complete, and it's still the heart of the hotel. And it's still very much, it covers the reception, the lounge, part of the restaurant and part of the bar. So that's fairly unique, I think.
How did Salisbury cope during the recession? Has it weathered it, and have you come through the other end of it, Salisbury?
I think it's been very difficult. Salisbury itself is probably not used to recessions. I mean, I think the difference between this one and many of the previous recessions is it's hit the south. Right. And perhaps we're not quite as well equipped to deal with it as some who are used to it. I think it's been very difficult in Salisbury. They talk about green shoots. I don't know yet.
Yeah,
I reserve judgment on that.
But are the Americans coming back?
Yes, but I don't think they'll ever come back in perhaps the numbers that they did, say, 10 years ago. But yeah, sure, there are quite a lot about, and they will always come because they always want to find their roots. Don't they?
It's a great town to work at, isn't it, Salisbury? It's a lovely
Oh, it's
place.
a lovely city.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a lovely city. It's one that likes to be visited, but it's a real. I think that what we must make sure of is that it stays a living city and not become a museum piece.
Town TV is magic.
There you go,
All
look at
right?
that. Middle of October, look at that.
Yeah,
Ice
lovely.
cream.
The best ice creams in the country.
Madness, see? Nice.
Yeah.
You've got it all round your face, look at that.
Well, that's what it's for,
That's the
isn't
best
it?
way, isn't it? It's been abandoned for about 10 minutes. The referee's going to come back out in a minute and have a look at the pitch. But it's a Hampshire Cup game. New Street against Blackford and Langley. Score was 0-0, I think, when we actually finished. It's off. It's off. The game has apparently now been postponed, cancelled. It's off. We're now with Roger Smith, who's a member of the New Street football team. Tell me, Roger, you've never sort of played in conditions like that before?
Only once, about 10 years ago, but never played in conditions like that. Torrential rain. Referee did the right thing, calling it off.
Yeah. When he's left it, what, 10 minutes to go?
No, 69th minute he called it off.
Yeah.
I felt we was getting on top as well, so it's a bit of a shame really that the
So
rain.
what'll happen now?
Well, I think it'll be played next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll pick up where they left off and should be.
They'll be back here.
Yeah, should be. Yeah, the park filled up water within a matter of seconds. It's beginning to soak away a bit now, but when it come down, it really did. Well, the referee did the right thing because it was getting dangerous. Somebody broke their leg, So
24 minutes to go.
24 minutes to go.
And we called it off.
And we called it off.
Yeah, Roger just said wise move, one of the best moves we could have made.
Looking at the pitch now, definitely, I would definitely agree with that.
Yeah, have you called a game off like that before?
No, never.
Never needed to.
Never needed to.
Alan, you ever played in conditions like that?
No, never at all. Never won a game.
No, it's a bit of a nightmare, wasn't it?
Yes, a bit silly really at the end, but it's good job the referee called it off.
Yeah, 0-0.
Yeah, we felt we were getting on top, and there was only one. We thought it was only one result.
Yeah.
A bit disappointed because we were beyond with our games already. We could have done with winning this and sort of carrying on there.
So you look forward to the replay?
Yes, yeah. We've got a few people out injured, not available, so we're looking to sort of come up here and win next week.
Yeah, good. Anyway, Alan, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you. Cheers.
We need someone up here. If you get up to it, manager, you have to get up here.
Well, there you have it. A day in the life of a football team. Well, we've seen them nightmare rewarding, standing on tops of chairs doing silly things with beer. We've had a good day, we've had a good laugh. We'll see you probably next week with something else. I don't know what. But we've got lots planned. If you've got any ideas, do drop us a line at PO Box 555 or give Chris and Alan a ring at Town TV. Numbers are always flashed up. But give us a ring anyway and let us know. See what you've got. You might have something going on. Anyway, we'll see you again soon.
Well, here we are at Salisbury Cathedral, where Dave Bullis was last week. Now, he told us that we were supposed to be meeting Edward Heath, but we phoned up, and apparently he's at the Tory conference up in Blackpool. So what we're going to do is going to meet some rock and rollers at the Red Lion, which is just around the corner, and see what they've got to say for themselves.
It's called Sing. Save me, stop what you're doing. You'll be my ruin, ruthlessly wandering, all my time squandering. Feel that I'm drifting, image is shifting, my mind is going where there's no knowing. Save me, save me from myself now. Save me, save me from myself now. Save me, save me from myself. They say it's cool, boys should play cool and never lose self-control. Now I've lost my own, forgetting anything how we used to. Save me forever. Save me, feel that I'm drifting, image is shifting, my mind is going where there's no knowing. Save me from myself now. Save me from myself now. Save me from myself. Stop what you're doing. You'll be my ruin, ruthlessly wandering, all my time squandering. Feel that I'm drifting, image is shifting, my mind is going where there's no knowing. Save me from myself now. Save me from myself now. Save me from myself. Oh yeah, oh save it. Oh yeah, oh save it. Oh yeah, oh save it. Oh yeah, oh save it.
Well, here we are in the Red Line in Salisbury. Stan Green, manager of the Trogs and many other bands. Pete Lucas, bass player in the Trogs. And Titch from Dave D. Dozy, Vicky and Titch.
Oh, Salisbury fame, Titch.
Salisbury fame. Tell me about Salisbury. We've come here to do a little profile on Salisbury. Tell me about it. Has it been a big influence in your career?
Yeah, I mean, I've always lived in Salisbury all my life. Wouldn't live anywhere else, to be quite honest. I just find generally it's a sort of a fairly warm place. You're not far from the sea, you're not far from London. I mean, it's ideal. Perfect.
What is it about music from the 60s that sort of, why did it take off in this area, I wonder? Pete, perhaps?
The country scene, I think, really.
Yeah.
The Trogs, I mean, when I'm from London and I moved to Salisbury area in '63.
Yeah.
In '67, I suppose I'd met Titch, or '68. And but the Trog thing as well. It was like a rural thing, and probably Andover sort of loved to see Dave D. They were like a fantastic harmony band in those days.
Yeah.
Dave D and the Bostons.
Yeah.
Whereas Salisbury, like, they loved the Trogs, didn't they, as well? Because they were like a rough. Well, you're not Reggie's like
right,
me.
that's right.
Pretty bloody rough, actually. But the Salisbury thing was like the Trogs, and I don't know. It's.
What do you think, Stan?
Well, I think that the 60s was introduced by Liverpool, really, from the Cavern days with the Beatles, the Genes, the Mersey Beats, that sort of kind of group thing. You had the groups from London like Brian Poole, groups from Manchester such as Freddie and the Dreamers, the Hermits, and so the whole 60s period was really related to London, Manchester, but mainly Liverpool because of the Beatles, Cilla Black and that sort of thing. Suddenly you have from a rural area, Dozy Beaky, Dave D, Dozy Beaky, Mick and Titch, the Trogs. And all of a sudden we've moved from the big city to these country boys, and I'm sure that they've both been up to the big cities when it was the 60s and they were big stars, and you know, everybody said, you know, well, where are these guys from? You know, country bumpkins and straw sticking out of your ear. You know.
The funny thing was, it was the Shadows were quite an influence, weren't they? And everybody stopped playing guitars and started singing. Which I think was sort of the turning point.
Well, perhaps they didn't think you could sing down sort of south of Watford.
Well, for me, I mean, my sort of introduction to it all really was, I suppose, Buddy Holly, like so many others, Buddy Holly and the Shadows. I mean, every band did Shadows songs and Buddy Holly songs, and I think it just grew from there.
I've always been, I wouldn't say I'm a fan of 60s music. I just think it's good music, and it's going to stay. And I'm talking from a business point of view, that these boys have been going since the 62, 63, and the Trog 66 through. We're in 93 now. We're approaching nearly 30 years.
Easy, show you're liking it and love. You know that we're gonna hit the heights, 'cause I'm sure that we're made to be together, just like pieces of jigsaw puzzle. What's the puzzle? Bend it, just a little more without you, baby. I'm so insecure, but you can make me feel like I am sure I got a sickness only. You can just relax, relax. Stop it, honey, please don't tease me. Try to please me.
The music of the 60s is good music anyway, because it stood the test of time. We're not saying we're fanatical about it, because, you know, we actually earn a living out of it. And I'm sure that the guys, you know, they enjoy playing still today.
Right.
But the 70s sort of died away for me personally, and the 80s certainly died away. And if I'm talking about what I'd like to do today, I'd like to be involved with these people, because they're really the kind of people that I know enjoy their work, and they are good professionals.
What's going to happen on the recording front?
Recording-wise, I mean, the Trogs, I mean, since Stan's been with the band, it's 5 years now, I mean, we actually don't stop recording.
Right.
We're recording all the time. I mean, if we're not doing a single, we're preparing for an album.
Right.
If we're not doing an album, we've got people ringing up celebrities that want to record with the Trogs.
You're telling me about the thing with Oliver Reed.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, it's always Wild Thing. But, I mean, Reg, myself, and Chris would probably like to get away from Wild Thing, but it's just such an international song that you just can't seem to get away from
Where we
it.
go in the world is amazing, isn't it?
Well, I think you've got to remember that...
But we turn down a lot, don't we, for Wild Thing?
I think you've got to remember that what we record now might be earning us a living in another 5 years' time.
Yeah, that's how
It's
it
not
works.
the fact of whether it actually is charts, or whether it goes into such and such a chart in the Billboard or wherever.
Right.
I think you find if we've recorded something in 93, maybe we'll still earn something out of it, you know, in the 20,000. That's why we record,
If
we
not,
recorded,
he's sacked.
That's how it will be. Don't you know, I can't live without you. And don't you know, I'm falling in love. Don't you know, there's something about you that makes me ready for love.
we've recorded with R.E.M. and bands like that, but we're not saying that that's going to make a big change to us or do anything. All I'm saying to you is there's a few
you told
tracks...
us it would.
I tell lies. There's a few tracks there that I'll be able to use in a few years' time to put on compilations. Simple as that.
We get off a plane now. We're up at sort of like 4 o'clock in the morning. We travel to Germany. Time we get off the plane, actually get to the gig, it's like 5:30 at night. Time we get on stage, it could be 1 o'clock in the morning. Now you're talking getting on for like sort of 20 hours up without, you know, before you've even performed. But we still get on and do it. I bet there's not many people that do that in modern day music. No.
Just to go back to Salisbury, the City Hall, you must have played that when you first started. I know I did, but...
Yes.
I can honestly say it was nice. 1 week we did it, and I think it was the week that the Stones were on. I mean, they used to have people on nearly every night of the week.
I met Titch, 68 or whenever it was, and not many of you know this, but I was actually a DBM&T boy for on and off for about 8 years, wasn't I?
Yeah,
full time. And something happened in the late 70s when Titch organised it with a few other people, and it was the Salisbury people that wanted to see Dave Dee, Doseby, Beaky Mick and Titch again on stage, because we were always in Germany doing things like that. And we used to do this Christmas show, didn't we, Titch? And it was so successful, wasn't it? It was amazing. And it made me feel good as well, you know. This is in between Ridge, I think. But anyway, that was a very successful, talking about the City Hall. It really was, wasn't it? And we had some guests then, didn't we? Rick Parnell, from, you know, playing with us, drumming wise, and XTC we had, didn't we? They we got this thing going in the City Hall, and I actually thought the City Hall was going to take off again through that.
So what's happened to it now? Is it still functioning?
No, actually, it's up again, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're working hard.
Legendary rock place in Salisbury.
Well, I'm talking to Barbara Softly. She's the manager of the Salisbury City Hall. Thank you for talking to us. How long have you actually been here then?
4 years.
Yourself or the whole building's been
Oh
here?
gosh, no, the building's been here a long time. It used to be a cinema, and now it's been sort of refurbished, so we've picked it up from a very quiet hall 4 years ago into a very thriving hall.
What sort of things do you have here then?
Well, anything. We're actually a multi-hall, so what we do is anything from wrestling to conferences to the Chippendales.
Chippendales
really,
sounds good
it's
to me.
very, very, very multi. You know, we do anything really.
Your children's ones as well. And
We
Mr.
have
Men
Mr.
coming
Men
up.
and children's, and we have two large hall and which seats 1,000, and we have two other main halls upstairs which do very well on conferences.
When I was here in 1964, saw the Rolling Stones, and Brian Jones was still in the Rolling Stones then.
How embarrassing.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
How can you actually admit that?
The Rolling Stones are one of the best bands in the world, Claire, my dear.
Yeah,
You haven't lived until you've seen the Stones play live.
They were going to close this hall 4 years ago. I actually came from a swimming pool to close it. I was manager of a swimming pool, leisure centre, and they asked me to come for 6 months to close it. And I just
didn't have the heart.
Oh, well, no, it's just stupid. It's such a beautiful place. There's so much potential, and I think what happened, they just used it like for wrestling and roller skating. So I changed it so that we've got every room used. So I quite often, if you came next weekend, we've got 4 functions going on at once on one day and 3 on the next day. It is just such a, and I use it all the time. I mean, the schools use it for their exams.
Come on then, Barbara.
Magic moment, Claire.
Just to make an entrance. There we go. We are. Nice. Romeo, Romeo. Wherefore art thou, my Romeo? Well, thank you for talking to us on Town TV. I think we're actually going to come back and see Spire FM.
Well, if you're in the area, just come and have a look at us and, you know, come and see a show if you're interested in any of them, especially Mr. Men.
Am I interested? That would be lovely.
Chippendales.
Thank you very
Do
much.
come any time, and I'm sure the stars won't mind you even interviewing them or whatever you'd like to do.
That's a good idea, actually, isn't
Nice
it?
to have met you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye then.
Oakley Cleaners, Andover's foremost independent dry cleaners, and as such, your complete satisfaction with our service is of paramount importance. Mention Town TV and for a limited period only, we will process one item free with every £5 you spend on personal dry cleaning. And remember to ask about our regular customer discount scheme. Oakley Cleaners, Weyhill Road, Andover.
Specs Hair and Beauty Salon offer free individual advice by top hairstylists using a full range of hair and beauty products. Telephone Andover 355 839 now for an appointment and get a 20% promotional discount on all treatments. Visit Specs for a spectacular new look.
Marketing said, I mean, there's a lot of quite famous celebrities that are sort of around the area, like Ted Heath and Toy Wilcox. Do they come and sort of buy their towels?
No, they come. They don't buy.
No?
They come here with their minders.
Minders?
Yeah, they come here and they just have a look round and buy a few flowers.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
A bit of fruit veg?
Yeah.
No smells?
No. Dave Dean, he used to be a punter of mine. He was. His mother still buys from me. Honestly, she still buys from me because he lives down in Spain.
He's living in Spain?
In Spain, there.
Well, there you go. There's something we didn't know.
Yes, he lives in Spain.
Dave D living in Spain, tax exile, or the Costa del Crime. I mean, what can I say? I rest my case. Anyway, Sid, thanks for talking to us, mate.
All the best.
Never work with children.
No.
That's what they say. Man once wisely said, never work with children or animals. Loads of watches in?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Stars over there. Stars in your eyes. Stars in your eyes. Everyone a winner.
We got it, mate. Thank you. What are we saying here?
Umbrellas, all prices, anywhere you like, $1.99.
Cheap umbrellas.
Cheap umbrellas, cheap and cheerful. Keep you dry. $4.99 that one, sir.
$4.99.
All quality.
In your handbag.
In your handbag. Take away now.
Come over to Salisbury and buy your mum some flowers or buy her a plant of some sort. Lovely, look at that. Cheap as well, $1.35 for a little one there. Nice. Look at that. Lovely macro. Lovely macro. Nice macro, Steve. Come out and do some cooking as well.
It'll kill you.
It'll kill me. What's it made of? How can you do this? Shoot it all in one hit, and then you end up getting grief from everybody around you. It's great fun. Let's go and have a look, see what else we can find. Gents' toilets. Men's briefs. Men's briefs. Hey, men's briefs. Now, we talked about this recently, didn't we? Gloves, I do believe. About sending your wife or your girlfriend out shopping for your underwear again. Well, there you go. I rest my case. There you go. 2 women buying underwear. Excuse me. We're talking from a cable network. I was talking about men not going out and buying their own underwear or socks. Now, you obviously here buying underwear and socks for your men.
Yes, of course we are.
I see. I rest my case. This is true. It is the truth.
Coming up, best banana at £3.
What's all this noise? Look at this.
Don't want pay.
What's all this noise? This singing.
Gee, we got Shakin' Stevens here.
Shakin' Stevens.
Banana
Shakin' Stevens. What was this song you were singing then? Come on.
So I've lost my voice.
No, you lost your voice now. I thought you might do. We come around this side and put the camera on you and you lose your voice. Typical, isn't it? I think it's easy life. Yeah, what's that about these? Was it?
2 boxes of English
2 boxes of English strawberries for £1. Anybody interested? Oh, come on, Hank.
2 for £1, look. Celebrities. Leave the till alone.
Loads of money.
English strawberries here, 2 for £1. 2 boxes here for £1 only.
What do you do with it, eh?
All boxes of English strawberries here, 2 for £1.
Alan, where are we going next?
I don't know, do you?
No, I'm supposed to do the trunks or something like that.
Well, I am, but I mean, hey, work this one out.
I'm
This
not.
is one of the
He's not, and you're not. Well, you are.
I'm the Trogs. This is Titch.
It's Dozy Big
Titch.
Titch and Stan Green, that's the manager of the Trogs.
I'm the
Manager. Wow, very nice day, isn't it? You're enjoying yourself.
Wonderful, yeah.
If only you could help me. Would you be able to tell me where the Salisbury Journal is? Because I'm like lost in
It's
this new
moved,
city.
Titch. You're Salisbury boy. Well, if you go down the end there,
Down the end there.
Turn right.
Turn right.
first right,
First right.
and then first left.
And then first left. So
And
down
it's
the
on
end,
your right.
First right, and then it's on the left.
Journal.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you very much.
That's
Thanks
quite
very
all
much.
right.
See you later.
Bye.
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 We have two papers, the Journal itself, which is paid for, and the Times, which comes out on a Tuesday, full of advertising.
Right, so who finds all the stories then for you?
Well, you're looking at it. We do. It's our digging around in the area.
So you go running the streets as well then, do you?
Yes, we do indeed. Find many a good story in a bar.
Oh yeah?
Oh yes.
Which one's the best bar here then?
Well, we tend to use the Pheasant just up the way, but any pub really.
Do you get many exciting stories in Salisbury?
Well, we don't get many murders, but we get things that get local people upset, certainly, yes.
Upset, so no happy things then?
Oh, happy things as well.
What's the most interesting story you've ever done, do you reckon?
One of the most heart-rending stories I ever did was a lady and her teenage son who were living next to a chap who'd been released into the community under care in the community. And it really had a big impact on their lives. They'd been very traumatised by it. So you can get quite traumatic stories like that. That sort of thing's very involving. That's your job, though. You're here to reflect what's happening to people in the city.
So you don't ever run out of news then?
There's always flat times. They've, usual jokes about August is the silly season and not much goes on. Sometimes you sit here wondering where your next story's going to come from, but it always does.
Well, obviously this is a very old building, Paddy, and technology's changed. Could you tell me how it has?
Right, we've moved on from the old days of hot metal, where the pages were actually made in lead and on typewriter machines. Now it's all rather more high-tech in that the reporter keys the stories straight into the computer.
Yeah, I saw
It's
that earlier, yeah.
straight along the line to the subs. They sub-edit the stories, cut bits and bobs out, and headline the stories. From there, it's then printed out onto laser printers here in production department, and the type comes out like this. It's then comes out on an A4 piece of paper. It's then stripped off the A4 piece of paper, pasted direct onto these grids. From here, it's then sent straight to the printers, from which a positive plate is made rather than a negative, and then bolted straight onto the press. And away we go. Simple as that.
Very easy then.
Very easy, yeah. Much easier than the old way, where it was, the plates are actually all laid into wooden blocks.
Didn't they have to get every single letter
That's right,
in the old
yeah.
days?
The old typeset machines, yeah. It's then sent to our sister company, the Basingstoke Gazette, all part of Southern Newspapers, and which they're one of our print centres. From there, it takes about 2 to 3 hours to print the journal, and then comes back down for delivery overnight.
Oh, and it goes to everybody's houses or just to shops and things?
To shops, first of all, and then from there through a delivery network to either shop purchase or delivered copies.
You find it's going well?
Very well at the moment. Not as well as I'd like, but going pretty well.
It's down to you, the circulation.
That's
How
right.
many do you actually sell a week then?
At the moment, we're averaging about 26,500 copies through all 4 editions of the journal, and then the free paper is distributed free to just under 40,000 homes.
Oh, that's not bad then. So
Very good.
going on this evening?
Right, well, it's as you can see, a lot of people here, about 150 altogether. Really, basically a thank you to all our loyal customers for their very, very loyal support over the last 2 years. It is 2 years, I regret to say, since we last had a bash at the garage anyway, so it's long overdue. But this one is a little bit different. It should be a lot of fun, and that's really the thing tonight, to have a little bit of fun and find some interesting things to look at, maybe.
What is the Club Toyota Antique Show? What is it?
Club Toyota, this is, I'm afraid, an unashamed plug for Toyota. They actually have a very unique club to purchasers of their new cars, which you can actually continue really for the length of life of the car. It's a very, very cheap, cost-effective means of having some excellent benefits, courtesy Toyota.
You've got Jonathan Hills of Sotheby's here this evening, and what's he doing?
Shamelessly duplicating what a lot of people watch on Sundays on the televisions, but obviously Sotheby's are a preeminent name in the antiques world, and it is something they work closely with several Toyota dealers, such as ourselves.
So what's he doing? Actually valuing?
Inspecting items and giving approximate valuations, indications of value, that sort of thing.
No antique cars he's valuing this evening?
Regrettably no, but I have already said that the MR2 I think will become a modern classic, Mr. 2, wonderful little sports car.
So will Millway Cars be doing more of these evenings?
I certainly hope so, yes. We really do, I think, have a duty to our customers to provide more such evenings, and judging by the response so far, I think everybody's greatly appreciated it, so we're very pleased.
So what do you think you've got here? Come on, what is it?
Well, I think the date of this is 1760. I think it's the head of an old grandfather clock.
Yeah.
That was made by John Stickley in 1760.
Yeah.
And
so where did you get it from?
My father.
Your father?
Yeah. And the casing is made about 100 years later. That's what I reckon.
So you're quite optimistic about the insurance value of this one?
Oh, well, that's it, you see. I've got to find out from the gentleman whether or not I ought to take steps to insure it.
Are you next on?
Yes, I am.
Are you getting excited about this?
Yeah, I'm really excited.
I don't know whether you had realised or not, but this is in fact from a grandfather clock.
Oh, right.
But only the dial.
Right.
The dial is from a 30-hour long case clock. A country-made one. Where's it actually? Boylesbury Bryan. John Stickley.
Yeah, John
Boylesbury
Stickley.
Bryan. Do you know any idea where this is?
No, I don't.
Because I haven't the foggiest either.
Oh.
Originally, it was in a long case.
Right.
With a 30-hour movement behind it, which you wound with a weight. So there was no winding hole.
No.
And if you look, it's drilled through this decoration, and it's drilled halfway through the bird.
Oh, right.
Does the calendar still work?
No, it doesn't.
The dial itself dates to 1740.
Oh, right.
1750. But at some stage, whether the case fell to bits or the movement stopped working and it was thrown into a box.
What are Sotheby's doing here today?
Sotheby's invited by Toyota to come and see these people's bits and pieces, basically, and to give them some idea of the values.
Do you find it good fun?
Great fun, yes. And we've seen some very nice things.
You find some quite unusual bits and pieces?
Yes, unusually high quality.
Really?
Yeah. Pieces just appear. I never cease to be amazed at the little bits and pieces that appear.
Can I retire then?
No. Not unless you don't want much to retire on.
Oh, the insurance value, yeah, that's what I wanted, yeah. That's a good one, Alan. Thank you for that.
I know, I can do that.
It's actually quite difficult to value this because I've never seen one quite like it. I may never do again. This is a one-off. Somebody's made this up from lots of different bits and pieces. So really one has to sort of go right back to basics and say, well, what is somebody going to be prepared to pay for basically what is a mishmash? But it's an attractive dial.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, I think at auction it would fetch It's a timepiece. It's not a clock.
No.
It's a timepiece.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a bell or anything. It
No.
just tells the time. It's worth £250 to £350. I think you should insure it for about £500.
Right. Okay.
But it's very interesting.
Yeah, it is,
Thanks
isn't
for
it?
bringing it in.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Well done, you guys. See, a very successful evening for Millway Toyota.
Right, 150 plus people here, which is absolutely great. Haven't been able to get near Jonathan to find out if we've uncovered anything really interesting or valuable.
Yeah, I did ask him a few questions, but he's found some very good silver, he says to me.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, well, I don't know what Andover's noted for its silver from past days, but we'll find out later.
He was saying that Hampshire is quite good for unearthing different bits and pieces, so yeah, we should do this again, really. You never know what's going to come up.
Yeah, well, I don't think we're going to have much choice in the matter. I think from reaction to our customers, they're going to want us to do this again pretty soon, so yeah. Could be an annual event, maybe.
It's a really great evening, and congratulations. It's what Andover needs, this sort of stuff, so well done.
All right, thank you very much indeed.
And we'll see you again soon, Graham. Thank you very much. Cheers.
From fashion to photos, flowers to food, furnishing to fabrics, pharmacies to finance, fitness to footwear, and cuddly toys. The Chantry Centre has it all and lots more, all under one roof. And there's parking for over 650 cars. Shop the Chantry way and you'll be...
feeling great. It's the Chantry Centre.
The Chantry Centre in the centre of Andover.
The Andover Gym is Hampshire's first full-time training facility for gymnastics. We deal from the ages of 12 months up to about 16, 17 years. What actually happens is that it's split into about 4 classes. We have Gyminies, which you can see on the wall back here, which is a class for preschool children from 3 to 5 years. And then Creeper Crawlies on the wall there, which is a class from 12 months to 3 years, which we run during the day. And then in the evenings we've got some recreational classes for people who are interested in gymnastics, which is designed to actually spot the talent. So we can bring them through to the actual squad and take them on to competitions, which we do throughout the whole South and nationally, international competitions. So we are the first in Hampshire full-time training facilities in Hampshire.
Is this the opening? This is the
This is the actual official opening. It's been open for a month,
Yeah.
but we decided to do it this way so we can get all the teething problems out of the way.
Yeah. And so everybody's enjoying themselves anyway?
Yes, it's been very, very successful at the moment.
Good.
Very, very successful.
Alan, great evening for you this evening.
Yes, very proud. Very first club to open in Hampshire.
Really? So, fulfillment of a dream for you?
Yes, 7 years hard work. I've been coaching 15 years now. We're trying to build our own facility now in Andover for nearly 7.5 years.
I do bring you greetings from the Hampshire Playing Fields Association, and in doing so I'd like to congratulate the club on this magnificent achievement. We hope you have many happy hours with your young people and bring them on a marvellous exhibition we've just seen. And in doing so, may I therefore present you with this cheque for £1,000 being a grant towards the equipment of the centre from the Hampshire Playing Fields Association.
Top quality produce and prices you can afford at Kenyon's Fruit and Vegetable Shop, Wayhill Road, Andover. Open daily Monday to Friday and Saturday mornings. Also in stock are eggs, flowers, pet supplies and canner gas. Mention Town TV and buy Wiltshire potatoes for only $2.99 for £55. Check this out for a chemist. Does your chemist offer you free perfume delivery, free gift wrapping, free film on all developing and printing, free prescription pickup and home delivery? Cooper's the chemist does. So why not call in to 27 High Street, Andover. Telephone 352 400.
Visit Primetime in Shakespeare Avenue off the Drove in Andover. We stock over 1,000 console games. Mention Town TV and we'll give you a £2 discount. Primetime is open 7 days a week till 9. Phone Andover 334400 now.
Over the next few weeks, or the build up to Christmas, we're going to be sort of telling you a few things about different places where you can go. Different places where you can go. This is clever, isn't it? Booking your Christmas parties for your works dues or your birthday parties or whatever. But we're going to do a bit about that, take you around some of the local areas and give you some ideas of what you can do over Christmas.
Together sing, bending, bending, just a little bit and take it. Show you're liking it, la 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 la
What's this place in Salisbury? Where
This
are
is
we?
the Market Square in Salisbury.
Yeah.
And behind you is the Guildhall, which has probably been there.
Well, many years.
Yeah, before the town.
Used to be the main courthouse, if you like, in
Yeah.
Salisbury.
Still is.
Well, no, it's moved.
Has it? Oh,
yeah.
okay.
It's now the Alexander Rooms where we used to go and see Mick Fleetwood.
Mick Fleetwood, yeah,
Yeah.
another local boy.
Didn't they have the market here the other day?
That's right.
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Mondays.
Yesterday. We were here yesterday.
Monday,
No,
Saturday and
yeah.
Monday.
Oh, right.
Market day.
But this is where I must admit I've been up those steps on not several occasions, but at least once or twice for
Maintenance.
motoring offences. Actually, there was a triviality about something about that.
Yes, I recall that very well.
Something to do about your son, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You were saying he looked rather like Reg.
Well, he's 42 years old now. I mean, measure this point. Manages me, and now he's left me.
Now, I want to tell you a story about a bloke when we were in a hotel in Holland.
No.
Try to please her.
Three minutes.
Stand by.
Burping. Q 3 minutes, Terry.
Starting in about 3 seconds, chaps. Very much indeed, Terry. There you go. And now, finally, the head of the Penfound household. Here he is, Chris, in all of his glory. And with him, a couple of friends from the old days. Introduce yourself, sir.
Tony Murray.
Tony Murray and
Al Grinley.
Al Grinley. Now, these two gentlemen are involved with Town TV here and over Cablevision, supplying programmes to the area. All right, boys, by the way. It's on that Town TV, by the way, there, boys. Yes, Delirious in here, in the door with a sign Dave's Room on it. There they are, in all their glory. This is Delirious. I wouldn't believe that there was such a swinging place, would you?
It was pure pleasure.
Reg, while you were away, I've joined the Tremolos.
Who's Reg?